Welcome back to the City of Palms podcast. This is episode 39. We've got a guest that has been on our list for a long time. We finally got him in here. He is a part of XNVIX. Most of y'all, if you listen to the podcast and you're familiar with the music scene, you probably heard of them. Their names are thrown around a lot. We wanted to have all of them, or at least a handful of them, as many as we could fit in here.
They're coming.
Yeah, we want to make it a group thing, and we will. Don't mark my words, we will. But today we got Yano. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. Thank you so much for even, bringing my name up in like other interviews. I didn't even know that people cared.
Yeah, bro. And it's good to finally meet you, because we see each other in passing and shit, going to Kava and all that. But that's why I really wanted to have you, because this is natural for us, just to get to know someone and whatnot, because we're all in this together. The music scene around here is so cool.
Yeah, man. Big family, community vibes out here, and as much as I know that, everything that's happening is it's a very special, sensitive time in the 239. It's the perfect time for all of us to be coming together and just supporting each other's grind and music,
For sure. And there's so much drive. I see so much drive around here. It's really inspiring. I want you to get into the basic intro stuff.
All right, yeah. So
just get to know you a little bit, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I want to know, first off, are you from here?
Yeah, I mean, now I guess I could say I'm really from here, because I've been here for about the better part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born in Miami, and I was raised in New York, and I moved back to Florida, I want to say around 8 or 9, and I kind of just moved around Florida throughout my childhood a lot. And I landed in Naples, and from Naples I went to Lehigh, going into, I want to say 8th grade. So yeah, I was about 13, 12 when I moved to Lehigh, and I've just been here ever since. Lehigh, Fort Myers, back and forth,
Hell yeah.
Florida boy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'm born and raised here too.
Word.
So I feel that for sure. Where'd you go to high school at?
Lehigh Senior High, School of the Arts is where I went to high school. Actually, for my 9th grade year, I went to Gateway Charter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over there off Daniels. And 10th grade to graduation, I went to Lehigh Senior.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's where.
Did you play any sports?
I mean, not in high school, but all throughout my life. I played soccer. I was on a travel soccer team and whatnot.
What?
So yeah, I love soccer.
What position?
So I played left wing, and I played right wing, sweeper, and I even played goalie one time.
Wow,
that didn't go well though. Goalie didn't go well at all.
Yeah, I never saw me being a goalie. I mean, soccer alone, that's a lot of running.
Mm-hmm.
But goalie, at least you're chilling. You're not that much running, but
that's so sketchy.
But then bullets coming at you.
Yeah.
You got to block them too. Yeah, you're expected to. Yeah. So.
Do you play it all anymore?
I mean, not recently. Ever since, all right, I want to say the last time I played soccer, I was in college with my friends over there at Edison FSW. Now, we're over there in a large field, and just in between classes, we were kicking the ball around, and yeah, I haven't played soccer since. I haven't had a serious game or a mock game with anybody out here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like there's a lot of soccer heads, my age anyway, that I've run into.
Yeah. How was high school? Was that your time for harnessing your craft, or was it more outside of school that you did all that?
I want to say no. High school was definitely where I came into myself as an artist. So when I went to Lehigh Senior High Center for the Arts, I initially got in for the dance department, right?
Really?
Yeah. So I had a couple of friends that we were in a dance group together, and from middle school into high school, everyone's going their separate ways. We're going to different high schools. But Lehigh Senior seemed to be the place that was crafting all the best dancers. So you had to have auditions to get into the Center for the Arts. So I was in Gateway auditioning to get into another high school. And I got in initially for dance 1 and 2. And then of course you get all your regular classes. And I just fell in love with music along the way. Chorus class is where I came into myself. I had chorus 1 and piano 1, and then dance all like in the same year, and then I just chose to major or keep my core classes in chorus and piano. And from there is when I started writing my own songs and, you know, really figuring out my range as a vocal artist. And yeah, man, just all throughout high school I was like making music.
So you said the School for the Arts, is that, because I know I'm familiar with Cyprus, how they do it. They have like a whole program, and it's kind of like college where you like pick your like focus or whatever, whether it's like visual art or sculpting or music or something like that, and that's like how they base your classes. Is that how it was for you?
Yeah, and not to like discredit Lehigh Senior High School, it wasn't like super serious as like it was a hard school to get into, but it definitely gave you an option to choose from drama, band, vocal, and dance. And it was like really cool to the Center of the Arts was like in a corner of the school, and all those classes were right next to each other, so all the center kids like knew each other.
So what kind of music did you listen to at that time?
Back then, a whole lot of hip hop and a whole lot of rock. You know?
Yeah.
And even like it was probably like surprise to my fans, like classical music every morning, like before I even start my day, like brushing my teeth, I'll be listening to like Chili Gonzalez, and like he's a new age classical pianist, or like whatever Pandora threw at me from Beethoven to Mozart, things like that. And then you go like right into Kanye, and then like some rock music. I had a like really weird playlist. Really.
Yeah. I hear you, dude. I've got everything on mine.
Yeah, my Spotify's all over the damn place. Hell yeah. So what kind of rock, like what kind of like bands and stuff were you listening to heavy?
My cousin got me into, I don't know if you guys know my cousin Bill Suave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was your cousin.
Yeah, it's my cousin. Yeah. Love him. Shout out Bill Suave.
Yeah.
Family in the house. He got me into Young the Giant. So I was just in love with Young the Giant. I was just listening to them every morning. They're an indie rock band. And then I played Guitar Hero 2, like just like my whole life. I still play it to this day.
Dude, that's the game.
It's what helps me like with my hands. I play piano a lot.
You play an expert?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yes. But here's the thing. I don't play on the guitar. I play on the controller.
No. I've never heard of anyone that does that.
Yeah, so if you guys ever want to get down on some guitar, we can do that. Wow. But no, I started downloading the songs from Guitar Hero onto like my iPod, and I was listening to like Sweet Child of Mine, Cherry Pie, what else? I can go on, you know, and my music taste just started going all over the place throughout high school, because that's when I started to hear some melodies like mimicking others in different genres. So I started like playing games with myself, listening to different songs and be like, oh, this one's in the same key as that one. Oh, I imagine this artist drew inspiration from this artist because this song sounds like this song. And I was like just all over the place.
What?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. So was there what kind of instruments do you play? You say you play piano?
Yeah, I play piano, and I mean that's pretty much it. I tried to play the drums. I'm still trying to teach myself that, and I'm teaching myself guitar right now. My friend Logan, shout out Curiosity, my producer. He's teaching me some guitar chords every now and again when we hang out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there a time where you're like, all right, I'm going to learn piano? Kind of like how now you're like learning these instruments, or was it kind of throughout your life?
Yeah,
dabbling?
no, exactly what you said. So when I moved to Lehigh, it happened the day I moved to Lehigh. It's really weird. So I moved out to Lehigh, and it was so dead, and it was so quiet. It was the first time in my life I actually had some quiet, but it was too quiet. And I remember watching this movie with, I think it was Jamie Foxx, and he was like a homeless musician. And he was like really good, but for some reason he was just a bum. But he was incredibly talented, and he was like self-taught. And I decided, I was like, oh, I want to teach myself an instrument, and I just love piano chords. So my aunt, at my birthday that year, she got me an electrical piano, and I started teaching myself songs like off of YouTube tutorials. So I taught myself the Mario theme song. Dun, 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 dun. What else? I taught myself how to play All My Life by Casey and JoJo. I even taught myself 1,000 Miles. That song.
What about theme songs, like to shows and stuff? You ever learn? I notice people do that a lot with piano.
Bro, I'm very proud to admit that, like, I know how to play the Kingdom Hearts theme song on the piano. Like, whenever I get in a mood, I'll just play that for like hours. My friends can attest to this. Like, whenever I hop on a piano, the first songs I play is Poetic Justice, Let's Get It On, and the Kingdom Hearts theme song.
Yes.
Like, any piano.
How did progressing on the piano go? So how did you go from playing Mario Kart to playing Poetic Justice?
Yeah, so relentlessness and just like hard work and sleepless nights when I should be doing my homework.
And you just learned how to read the music?
No. Okay, so sorry, Mr. Sparrow. Shout out Mr. Sparrow, my high school chorus teacher / piano teacher. He tried to teach me music, and it just didn't take because I wasn't the best on focusing. It was really complicated. I treated it like I was like learning math, and you know, I learned better by picking things up off of ear or like visually rather than like seeing someone play it.
I hear
and
that.
pick up the keys just looking at them and then hearing it. But as far as reading music, like I can read music as far as like simple beginner level things. Like if you put a sheet of music in front of me and it said beginner and it was just like Ode to Joy or something, I could play it. But that complicated sheet music that Mozart and them were putting down, I couldn't even begin to tell you like what's going on that piece
True.
of paper.
That's crazy though. That's awesome that you got to where you're at now. Playing.
Thanks,
playing
man.
that. Yeah,
it's
that's
just
awesome.
I've worked hard. I watched a lot of my friends who were incredible musicians, just their work ethic, and I tried to apply it as much as possible to my own work ethic. Even though they did things very different than I was doing, I just wanted to make sure, like, if it ever becomes a competition or competitive, that I can at least hang. It's not like, oh yeah, I know like 1 or 2 songs. Like, I can actually say I'm self-taught in a couple of areas of music now, you know.
Yeah. And so you said you were making music all throughout high school too.
Mm-hmm.
Was that on your own project? Like were you focusing on your own craft? Like you had was that SoundCloud and stuff like that? Were you uploading songs through there?
I had never uploaded a song to SoundCloud until like after high school, right? I didn't even know like what SoundCloud was.
Mm-hmm.
I was always performing though in high school and writing my own hip hop songs. Never knew anybody who would give me a chance to get into the studio, and I knew nothing about buying my own mic and recording my own tracks back then. So me and Justice, shout out Strack XNVIX, we came up with XNVIX in high school. And
okay.
It is, I don't know if you're going to ask this question.
We will.
All right.
Yeah.
I will just save that story for when you ask that question. But I was making a lot of my music, and me and Strack were like just running through any instrumental that we could find and just working on our craft, creating all kinds of songs, you know.
Hell yeah.
So what would you major in college at FSW or Edison?
Oh, I don't know why I majored in business. You know, no dig at any business majors out there. Keep working hard. But I majored in business, and what did I minor in? Marketing. You know, I really thought that I was gonna graduate with the BA and turn XNVIX into like a music label, and then have them credentials and like sign a bunch of artists and create an empire. But then I realized I can do all that without a college degree.
Yeah.
So, taking this path.
Hell yeah, bro. So you didn't finish?
No, I didn't finish. We put a pause on it. We put a
Same.
pause.
We don't need it. Yeah. So I was definitely gonna ask like when XMVIX started and when like the more official like project started, and you already said high school.
Yeah.
So who were like the original? Where did it start? I guess is the best question.
Word. XNVIX origin story.
Yeah.
Guys,
I've
don't
been waiting for this.
fam, don't be mad if I fuck this up. Yo, XNVIX started in like 2011. All right, so I came from Gateway to Lehigh Senior, and I was in a piano class, and this is so beautiful. I'm getting flashbacks. And in piano class, I go to use the bathroom, and I hear a Pharrell song playing on the piano. And if anybody knows me, I'm a big ass Pharrell fan, like big ass nerd fan, big nerd over here. And of course, the guy playing it is the guy who's 10 times fresher than me and a bigger Pharrell fan than you will ever meet. Like, I know I said I'm a big Pharrell fan, but we can't even touch Strack when it comes to like Pharrell knowledge. He knows all of his songs, all the songs he wrote for people, and all the songs he produced. Strack is playing the song, and what song was it? I think it was like U.S. Placers. Dun, dun, dun. It has like Lupe on it and Kanye on it. Oh man, it's so hard. But and then Pharrell spits a hard ass verse at the end. So he's playing it, and I was like, "Oh, bro, you know that song?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know that song?" And I was like, "Bro, I love that song." I started spitting the verse, and he's like, "Oh, what about this one?" Mind you, we have not introduced each other. This is just like, all right, we're friends now. Like, let's start talking about hip hop. And I started showing him things I knew on piano. He started playing stuff that he knew on piano. And then the next day, I'm looking for him in the piano rooms, and I couldn't find him, but I found him at lunch. And he introduced me to all his friends, and they're all rappers, and they link up in the morning, and they do like rap circles. So this is like my introduction to Lehigh Senior. Like, I felt like I was in a movie going to like Juilliard. It was super cool. And even the day after that, after I meet the guys, I skipped a part. At lunch, when he introduced me to the guys, VI. This is where VI comes in. Now, I've known VI since middle school, but we didn't become friends until high school because he's sitting there on the table fucking shit up, and he's spitting, and I was like, "Oh man, y'all rap? Word, I rap too." And I fucking just dropped the verse, and like everybody was shook. Nobody wanted to rap anymore. VI sized me, dead ass like sized me, and was like, "Bro, that shit was fire. Spit some more shit." So I'm spitting, and then VI is hanging with me. He's spitting. I'm freestyling. He's freestyling. And it was almost like a battle, but we're like also like really impressed with each other at the same time. So this brotherhood just like started to form off of competitive freestyle, you know? And then in the morning, it's just like who can fucking freestyle the longest, who can spit the hardest verse. And we're not even rapping on beats anymore. It'll start from like someone holding their phone, playing shit off YouTube, someone bringing their little Bluetooth speaker, to just straight, no music. And like everyone's just rapping and dancing. And that's when we started gathering XNVIX. So before it was XNVIX, it was a new image, right? Our friend Dre and Justice came up with the name. And we didn't want to be like New Era, like the baseball cap. I came up with a name like that didn't stick. It was DOD, Dope or Die Kids. But then a bunch of our family members were like, Dope or Die? That's like morbid as fuck. And I was like, word, yeah, we don't do drugs and we're not suicidal. But then we came up with Sophisticated Bastards because we all had daddy issues and we're all black kids that people said sounded white because we are articulate. And yeah, started with Strack, VI, Dustin Turner, shouts out Cindy the Dragon, and Rip. And then we had a couple of other members, which I literally cannot remember because people just like, oh, I'm part of XNVI, I'm part of New Image, and then they would just like stop fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? Like not come to the table anymore, not come to the meetings in the mornings anymore, not come to the meetings after school. And by the time we all graduated, it was just me, Strack, and VI. Rip even went off to college, went on a hiatus. He was just focusing on school for a while. So he wasn't even making music for a while. So it was just us three. And Strack came up with so many ideas for tapes. You know, he was really relentless on making sure that we had a project to give to our fans, to give to the county, you know, because from high school, a lot of people were like, all right, y'all the rappers from high school, do something, you know, don't drop the ball. And we always just stayed true to like following our dream and making sure that we make XNVIX a staple in the 239. You know, it has to be a household name. And we've just been making music ever since 2011. And I went to jail, did a little stint, and when I got out, Strack introduced me to Nas. Then I went and picked up Rip from college, and the rest is history. We dropped Lobbies, we dropped Akatsuki, and Couches on the Way, you know. In between that, we got signed to Backhouse, and we've just been doing any freaking performance that we can get.
I'm so excited to hear about that link up, because like I've been telling Danny since like we started this podcast that I feel like within a lot of ways we're at like a boiling point right now. Like a lot of people are at a boiling point, like us as like coming into our own, like at a boiling point. And I feel like maybe it's just from my perspective or whatever, but I just feel like it's just a matter of time before like everyone starts figuring out how dope everyone is and whatnot. Like I told one story. Because, like, yo, like I said, XNVIX is a name that gets, like, thrown around a lot. Yeah. And y'all, I might be mistaken, but y'all don't have a lot of stuff on the major platforms, right?
No, we actually have nothing on major platforms. We got Burna, but Burna's my single, so I don't even want to say, like, it's ours, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to drop Couch on all platforms, and we're thinking about remastering Akatsuki. And
dude,
releasing it on all
that.
platforms. You guys fuck with Akatsuki? Word, thank you.
And bro, like, cause the story I'm gonna tell is about Kava, because like that's how I first met you guys, and like I still don't officially know any of you guys. It was just like in passing type deal. But I remember I told this story the other day on the podcast. So sorry to listeners, but like,
it's all right.
So like when I first started going to Kava, I didn't know anybody, and I had like just moved back to Florida and like was trying to like just get my art out there and like get to know people and like get in the scene a little bit, and not like in the music aspect, just in art. So someone hit me up to sell art there, and I didn't know anyone, and I'm like kind of like socially awkward and shit. Like I just had a little bit of social anxiety, so like I was chilling and like keeping to myself, and like the music was good, so I'm just like, oh, this is pretty cool. But like I was still kind of keeping myself, and then like I didn't know about any of these dudes like y'all and like Ivan the Hippie and Casey Parks. Like I didn't know about any of you guys. So whenever you guys started performing, I like turned my head and I'm like, what the fuck is it? And that, like, honestly, I consider that like my entrance to like the music scene, because that's when I started like looking people up and like following people on Instagram and really like going to shows and whatnot. And like, and you guys in particular, like, bro, I've said this about one other person that like, you know, there's some people that just like have this like atmosphere about them. Like when they walk in a room, there's just like a certain like
aura.
Yeah, like a vibe, you know what I'm saying? The only person I've said that about is Dominic Fike. Whenever in high school, I didn't know the guy personally, but like when I'd see him walking down the hall, I'm just like, bro, that's that dude.
Yeah.
And
you could feel it from Dom. Listen, just recently, you know, I've seen Dom at Slight's house. He had me come out to the show in Tampa, and every time you're just in a room with Dom, you can feel the energy and like the admiration of like everybody like towards him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly,
it's just like a warm vibe that you get from him whenever, like, if you meet him personally. He's the nicest dude that you'll probably ever meet. He's very warm and nice. And I don't know, bro, you spend so much time thinking about how this person is, probably his fans. I actually know Dom personally, but I know they spend a lot of time thinking like how he is. Everyone has this idea of like rock stars and whatnot. But he's just a person, and he's actually a really nice person. Yeah, cool just person. Like the rest of the artists and people that, you know, you probably admire. And it's just all about, you know, matching that vibe whenever you surround yourself or decide to surround yourself around that, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like overall goodness and like support for one another, you know? Like sometimes there's a big competition aspect of like music, and especially hip-hop music. Like there's a big competition in everything, and like when y'all, like anytime you guys would pull up to Kava or like any other event I'd see you guys at, it was like like you guys would pull up and it'd be like, yo, they're here, you know what I'm saying? And like every single one of you guys, like individually, pretty much all you guys came up to my art and you're like, yo, I fuck with that fucking pain painting. And like every one of you guys, it'd be like, it'd feel like I was like instantly friends sort of. And then I'd see you guys perform and just like, I didn't know y'all were performers. I thought you guys were just hanging out. So I was like, dude, these guys are cool. And then when you guys got up there,
and then we go scream and shit.
Dude, it's like the energy. Everyone says it. Like everyone on the podcast who's brought y'all up and like anyone I talk to, like they talk about the energy. And I feel like it's that like brotherhood y'all have. And it's not just like you found like you sought out a couple people who can spit bars and like, all right, come join my project. It's like y'all have been in this.
Yeah, no, it's we take this more serious than anything in our life, and I think I speak for all the boys when I say that. Like, this is objective number one. This is priority number one. So whenever we are on stage and that mic is in our hand and that crowd is in our face, 150%, or you shouldn't be doing it at all. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that to like discourage anybody. Like, practice does make perfect, even if you don't have a good performance. But every performance should, in your head, be way better than the last one.
Yeah.
And I think all my boys think like that. And everyone, you know, I try to leave everybody with an experience and a memory. You know, even though we're not like stage diving or like throwing water on people, those will come for the tour days. But even now, like, we should still be able to leave our fans with something, even if it's a crowd of 5 people, 50 people, or 100 people. Like, they should feel something.
Yeah, and one of y'all said, I don't remember who, but there was one time I was at Kava and I was talking with one of you guys, and they said it was after a performance, and I like just went up. I like to just like tell someone to face, like, yo, I fucking loved that. You know what I mean? And they were telling me, they're like, yeah, I just like when you see someone in the crowd and they're just standing there, and then like once you start performing and like your set goes on, they start like bobbing their head and then they start loosening up. He's like, that's what I aim for, is to get that like loosen up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is one of my favorite crowd reactions. You know, you'll have people like who are just like staring at you in trance, but my favorite is the person that doesn't fuck with hip hop and now fucks with hip hop. By the end of our set, we had like at Kava this old dude and his wife just like sitting at the front. And you know how we get down at Kava. We're like running around, jumping on
the
shit.
railings.
So freaking Toke.
I'm up on my railings.
It gets lit. Man, so freaking Toke was jumping all around this dude. And you could tell he was not having it. He was not having it. And at first, his wife like looked like she wasn't having it too. Boom, by song 2, she's bobbing her head. And she's looking at him, and I can tell she's like, honey, they're dope. And he was not feeling it. Man, we did like a 20-minute set, and like by the end, that old dude was standing up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, mission accomplished. Because not only do we do like one genre of music to catch a vibe, we do like a very broad spectrum of hip-hop to cater to everyone who's listening or comes out to listen to us. Because we are known for the turn-up, rager performance, but that's not all that we're trying to like emit as artists. We're definitely trying to portray that we can definitely dabble in different genres and bring different vibes to any setting. You know.
Hell yeah. All right, I want to get a little bit more into like you guys just starting out as performers and like as XNVIX as a group, but we're gonna take a quick break and run a couple ads, and then we'll be right back with Yano.
For sure.
The City of Palms podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps people use? How do I make money from the podcast? And the answer to all this is really simple: Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Me and Danny searched all over the internet for different outlets for distributing and recording and for websites that would host our podcast, and a lot of them you have to pay money or it's really complicated, and especially for someone just starting out. And Anchor really was an answer to all that, because you can record straight on Anchor. It's very user friendly, and it's totally free. We don't have to pay a penny to use this, and so it's great for anyone who's wanting to start out. And so if you're wanting to start your own podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. I just want to take a minute to welcome a new local legend into the city of Palms, Favi Cakes. Faviana is a local out of Cape Coral that we've recently met. She started a bakery out of her own house, and she uses it not only as a side hustle to gain some extra money and set up at catering events with sweets and pastries and whatnot, but she's also used it to get involved in the music and art scene. And she's been to Rock for Equality and Say in Season events, and she's all over the place, and she just shows up with sweets, and she's been customizing them to logos and images from artists and musicians around here, and it's really gotten attention on her. And not to mention, they're delicious. Me and Danny have actually partnered up with her to provide snacks for the podcast, so you'll be seeing her sweets on episodes from here on out, and we're here to support her. So if you do want to connect with her, she does most of her business through Instagram. Her personal Instagram is badgalfifi, and she posts a lot of cool content on there as far as processes of making her dishes, and then her business is actually Favi Cakes LLC on Instagram, and that's where you can contact her if you want her to cater one of your events, or you just want some of her customized sweets, or just her sweets in general. She has a lot of awesome stuff, and she posts good content, so even if you don't want to buy anything, you can just check it out and like and share and all of that. So welcome, you are now a local legend, Favi Cakes.
Yeah, so I guess we can get right into that. We can get right into how XNVIX really started, like, taking off and everything like that.
Word. How XNVIX started getting into the performance scene out here. I want to say our first, like, real XNVIX show was given to us by GCL, Gulf Coast Leisure. It's run by B. Frank and Marco. Okay. Shots at GCL, you know. Our first performance, right? It was a GCL event, and I reached out to Frank, like, last minute, because he put on Facebook, he's like, hit me up if you want to perform. And I had just gotten out of jail, and I needed to, you know, like, decompress, feel like a person. And VI was like, yo, we should do Keep It Moving. And I hit up Strack, and Strack was like, hey man, I'm really not ready to perform none of my new shit. It's still like, I'm still writing it, and I was like, alright bro, me and V are gonna go out and do Keep It Moving. And you know, Strack still accompanied us. He always comes to our performances, whether he's performing or not. And yeah, I went up there, I did Shaolin Master, Keep It Moving, and I think VI did one of his songs. What was it? Good Morning Mary Jane or something or the other. Yeah, man, it was a beautiful performance. It was the first time that we started getting comfortable performing together as, you know, artists, because we've had little, you know, freestyle sessions in the practice rooms at college and at the high schools, but now we had a stage and a mic to perform together these songs that we've written and just, like, only spat to each other in, you know, the hot box. Now we got to do it, you know, professional. And yeah, it just went really well. And after that, we started going to more GCL performances. We wrote lobbies, and the hippie circle started doing events at Kava. Shouts out to the hippie circle. We did so many sets, like, without asking my cousin to actually perform. He kind of just like, oh, you guys are here? And, like, handed me the mic. And, like, I really appreciate all the times he did that, because that's when I really came into myself as a performer, getting that much practice to perform in front of a crowd and getting comfortable, you know, looking people in the eye when I'm rapping or talking. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you're saying the shit that I'm saying, you know. But I really appreciate, you know, Bill Suave giving me the platform and Frank giving me the platform to really just, you know, become the artist that I am today, and giving all my brothers the same thing, because together, like, we all can say, like, we really got our footing at Cabo.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
That's real.
So that was how long ago? That was like a year and a half, 2 years ago that started at Cabo?
Yeah, I want to say, 2017, 16, 17, 18.
Nice.
All through there.
As a collective group, like, how did you? Because, well, okay, I'll backtrack first. Another, like he said, you guys are mentioned a lot on this podcast, and
Word.
aside from people loving your music, one thing that's talked about almost every time is your like energy, your stage presence, I guess, like crowd control. Like, you guys have a way. So collectively amongst you guys, was there a conversation where you're like, yo, this is how, or was that all just something where, like, it happened and you all just had that energy and you're like, this is it?
Nah, I'm not gonna cap. Like, we rehearse, you know, and we definitely practice our verses. But sometimes we get lazy because we perform so much. Like, we've done well over 200 performances, like we can say, and sometimes we'll stumble over our verses because we didn't practice our verse at all. We're just like, all right, I just did 3 shows and now I got to do another one. I'm just gonna show up, you know, and not be listening to our music all day, you know, and slip up. But there's plenty of times that Strat got us together, and he still does till this day. Like, all right, we gotta rehearse for this one, like, especially, for Otaku Fest. We rehearsed in the freaking hotel room. Otaku Fest, they booked us a hotel room for 2 days, 2 hotel rooms. They paid us to perform at an anime convention.
Dude, how was that experience? Dude. That was probably, I was gonna ask if you have any standout performances, but was that one?
We're definitely the most standout event that we've been booked for was Otaku Fest, because we've never been to anything like that, an anime convention. We are the biggest anime heads and had never even heard of an anime convention. And Toke reached out to this company and got us booked for this show. And when he finally, you know, heard back from them and they gave us, like, the okay, instantly we started like, yo, we're gonna go get, like, Akatsuki cosplay. I'm gonna get my dreads done and, like, get the tie and look like da-da-da. And, like, you know, we were really hyped for this one because we're finally gonna be amongst a group of people that fucked with, like, shit that we fuck with.
Yeah.
Other than hip hop, you know. We were surrounded by.
You got a whole project about the fucking, you know.
Yeah, the hip hop Akatsuki, and that's what we performed. We did some stuff like coming off our new album Couch, but we definitely did everything that we made for Akatsuki in one set, because they gave us 45 minutes to an hour.
Wow. What?
So,
And when was that?
That was, I want to say, August 30th, 31st.
Yeah, it was this year. I remember Crush
yeah.
Captain was posting about it and whatnot.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago. It was fire. We had so much fun. Yeah, we were, like, rehearsing in the hotel room, and we were loud as hell because I just bought, like, this big ass speaker. Like, it was my birthday 2 days before, and I went to Walmart and I bought a speaker. We brought it back to the hotel, and, like, we're smoking. Homeboy was, like, tripping shrooms, our DJ, and he's, like, mad at us because we're, like, bullshitting the whole time, and he's like, bro, you guys can't get up there and, like, I'm not knowing when your songs are, like, bro, we'll be fine, we do this all the time. And, like, he really got on our ass. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the speaker, we're gonna go over our set and fucking kill that shit tonight. And we turned that fucking hotel room upside down and then went downstairs and killed that shit.
I wonder what the room next door was thinking. They're like, what is going on?
Yeah, I know that.
Free show.
Yeah.
In my head, I, like, imagine, like, housekeeping, like, passing the room, like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, maybe she stops and just cranks out for a little bit. That's a video idea.
Yeah, maybe she needed that. Yo, on that note though, because I know that y'all are into anime because you guys fuck with my art and like I'm super into Naruto and whatnot, so I love the fact that you have a hip hop Akatsuki project. But I got a question for you, and I don't think I've asked any guests this before, and you don't know because you don't fucking watch Naruto. But I've got opinions, and I think it's a no-brainer. If no specific characters, but Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, who do you think would win in a fight? Just like in ninjas versus like whatever, like Saiyans and whatnot.
All right, listen. There has to be specifics to this question. All right.
Okay, here I'll tell you my answer, and I'll just see if you agree.
This is how I feel. I don't think it's fair to even bring this comparison up because shit is still evolving in Dragon Ball Z, and shit has kind of like come to a standstill in Naruto. Now, Boruto is bringing a bunch of shit to light, but come on, man. Everyone is going to bring up the argument of like Sage Naruto versus Ultra Instinct Goku, and we can bring up all of their fucking super power killer moves, but Dragon Ball Z is making all their characters so OP that it's impossible to compare them to any other anime character.
Agreed. See, and like, yeah, when it comes to power level and stuff like that, like, you can't really, like, it's really hard to compare, first of all, and also, like, you can't really deny that, like, Goku can, like, fucking blow up a planet and shit when, like, but the one thing that I always mention, if you're just talking, like, in general,
hand-to-hand combat,
well, because people say that, like, well, hands down, everyone in Dragon Ball Z could crush everyone in Naruto, but I just say Genjutsu alone, like, Itachi or Sasuke or any of the Uchihas, like, versus anyone in Dragon Ball Z, they win.
It's raps. And I tell... Thank God my homeboys aren't here right now because they be screaming at me. Like, I can already hear them like, nah, nigga, you don't even know what fucking Goku and Vegeta would do. Like, man, that's so funny that you bring this up too because I was just watching Anime House by DC. I forget their names, but Anime House where these guys do skits about like Naruto and Goku and Vegeta like living together with like a bunch of other anime characters, and I just imagine them like always like, bro, I'll whoop your ass, and Sasuke and Vegeta going head to head because they're like basically the same anime character in different animes. Like, no, you won't. I will whoop your ass. Like, I really think that at the end of the day though, Goku would give Naruto the hands, and Sasuke would give Vegeta the hands.
I agree.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah, and I just feel like Genjutsu in general could, like, Saiyans aren't trained for that shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not at all. And Itachi is running through all them Saiyans alone. Madara is running through all them Saiyans alone.
You need to watch Naruto so you can contribute. I try to tell him every day.
You will know, bro. You've got plenty of time, but you've got to dedicate. You've got to dedicate your time to Naruto.
Yeah. See,
the reason why we're so like passionate about this shit because we grew up with Naruto. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? From Naruto to Shippuden, bro. Like, do you remember that first episode of Shippuden?
100. I was gonna tell the story. I remember. I was actually in college. I wasn't that young. I was like late to the game of anime. It was actually yesterday. It was last week. no, but I remember I was in college and I had like a bunch of shit to do and I was up way too late because I was like working on shit while I was watching Naruto and I finished the original series. I was done and I was like, now I can move on to the other series that everyone's been talking about. And I had like some stuff to do and I'm like, it'd be smart to like get to bed. I'll just go ahead and get to bed and like get to class in the morning. But I started the first episode and that first like theme song from like, I'm not even gonna sing it because I get to fucking Japanese and shit. But like the first theme song from Shippuden is the dopest. And then the episode started, finished the whole episode, and I'm pretty sure I watched like 3 episodes before going to bed because it just like instantly hooked me, bro. And once you get to the Akatsuki, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to invest, bro.
Read it. Yeah. That's what I did. I watched half of it, and then I didn't have time for all them fillers, so I just read the rest.
It stressed me the fuck out. Like, I need you to imagine, right? 12, 11-year-old me, Bill Suave, right, telling me about Shippuden, and I'm like in disbelief. But my cousin knew all the websites to watch all the latest animes. Now, also imagine... This is like, how old am I? 24. This is like 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago. I don't even know. It's been a while. And the internet was not what it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
and like you gotta really search to find this anime, and I didn't even really watch anime like dubbed or subbed. I was watching it only dubbed,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to read and keep up with this shit, and it was just monumental watching old Naruto like fight with old Sakura, and then you're like, where the fuck is Sasuke? Where is Sasuke? And then Sasuke comes out and he's a total asshole, and he's already been an asshole, and it was a ride. I'm not speaking a lot on it for the people that haven't seen Naruto. I'm not trying to spoil that shit for you. Go watch Naruto.
For sure. Dude, there's one spoiler. I'm not even gonna mention any names, but there was one. You know what I'm talking about. The biggest like surprise in the whole like that you don't find out till like the very end of Shippuden, like what certain things happen and whatever. But there, it been like partially spoiled for me, and I was like not sure if I knew the right answer. It ended up being cool. Like I don't really like things being spoiled for me, so was hoping that it wasn't the case, but I kind of knew. But if you haven't watched it and you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, it'll blow your mind, 100%.
Or it will break your heart.
Oh, that's a fact too, bro. I still think about some of that shit.
Break your heart.
Man, yeah, we grew up on Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah,
so
that was our
as far
kid
as
show.
that was what we were.
Word, no disrespect to Dragon Ball Z now. I also grew up on Dragon Ball Z, and I remember many Toonami nights just like getting ready to fucking watch my Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah.
And like it was like a ceremony.
Yeah,
As a kid.
for real.
You get your popcorn or your chips.
Fuck
You
yeah.
get your fucking Kool-Aid, whatever fucking drink, and you just fucking get down on your anime until
Fuck
you
yeah.
cannot anymore, or until Adult Swim comes on.
Facts. Yo, do you want to should we bring up the topic we were talking about with Slight outside, the X topic? See his thoughts on it?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know the facts as much as you.
Oh, I'm gonna butcher the.
It's
hell
okay,
out
it's
of
okay.
it.
He'll probably know what we're talking about.
So,
What's up?
all right. So, yeah, we talked with a fellow friend, and we tossed some ideas back and forth.
Mhm.
R.I.P. X. You know, he passed
Hey,
away.
one time, R.I.P. for the homie. R.I.P. Jase. You know I had to represent one time.
Damn.
Yo,
That's
I keeps it real.
Hell yeah.
fuck yeah.
Florida boy. Till
Hell
we
yeah.
all die.
So there's obviously been conspiracies about Drake.
Chill, bro.
Poppin'. So-
Chill. All right, go ahead.
All right, so
knew he'd know.
and I don't want to butcher this too much, but one of the ones that like it pisses me off too, like the SMS shit. You know, it's like all right, no, none of that. But where it does get fishy is like, I guess X. So they'd had beef, you know. You probably know, and I guess X said like on his Instagram story. I remember him saying he went live and said like
If anything happened to me,
it was Champagne Poppy. Yeah.
Is that nigga Champagne Poppy?
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And all right. So then.
Yeah.
There's some other shit that I feel like I'm missing out, but a big detail that boils down to it is when Drake shot God's Plan and he used the budget to give to the people. That was in Miami, so that's in X's part of the town. So who's to say, as Drake's going giving the money, 10 here, 10 here, 25 here, hit that head nod,
Whoa.
10 here, 10 here,
That's-
and yeah. That's just kind of, I was like,
Boy, that's a
I was
a
like,
conspiracy.
fuck. Yeah. I was like, damn.
Who came up with that one?
So we heard it from Slight, so I don't know where it originated from, but that was,
Word.
yeah.
That is fishy, but you know, I'm a Backhouse affiliate, and I don't know if we've even had this conversation before. Actually, we had this conversation or a conversation like this before, but to that, I'm gonna say, personally, I don't agree. It is fishy that X had beef with Drake. Said if anything happened to me, it was this nigga. And then X literally died. But to not speak ill on the dead, X was beefing with a lot of niggas. You need to understand.
Yeah.
That was a Florida boy, and he kind of got most of his attention, other than from his music, beating niggas up. Who knew
facts.
what kind of beef that he had, or problems, or people that like put a hit out on him? like from the past, and they just like waited. Because, bro, like, realistically, it's not weird of Drake to go down to Miami and give out a lot of money, because Drake loves Miami, and he's been out on Biscayne Bay for a while. He owns property in Miami. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of friends, basketball player friends from Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? He be out in Miami, so it's not like, oh, I'm in X's hood. Like, been in X's hood while X was still in high school or in jail. Been out there. So I don't think it's like fishy for him to be out there now. Also, second, Drake has beef with other niggas also that are way bigger and more dangerous than XXXTentacion. And I would think that he would put bans on their heads before like an actual kid.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Because I don't think he ever felt threatened or ever showed that he felt threatened from X, because X talked shit about the Migos. He talked shit about, like, I don't know, he talked shit about whoever the fuck he wanted to. Like, that's just that Florida boy mentality. Like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Anybody who tries to, like, steal my idea, not give me credit for it, fuck you. Anybody who sizes me while I'm out here trying to represent what I'm doing, fuck you. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. Man, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to believe. I also just can't imagine that Drake took that shit that serious. You know what I'm saying? To like end the nigga. Like, bruh. But it is nothing for rappers or just men of high stature to just put money on somebody's head. It's nothing. But yeah, bruh, I don't fucking think Drake did it. I think them niggas was plotting on fucking X. One of the killers even got on fucking tape and was like, we've been killing Florida rappers out here, and they have been killing Florida rappers out here. There's other rappers that haven't blown that you don't know about that just got fucking killed out here for no fucking reason. And they were like about to blow. They just signed something. They just got fucking robbed and murdered for like no reason. And who knows, you know, what beef, or if these cats are literally targeting artists that live in Miami, following them around, and then just simply cutting them off and taking their life. You know, who knows? And it sucks to think that half the world will believe a rumor rather than like try to find justice that like will actually happen, or actually, when justice is served, believe that justice is served. Because apparently all three of these motherfuckers is locked up forever. Their life is over. And people are still like, but Drake killed that nigga. Like, come on, man. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad we got your opinion on that. Because I think conspiracy theories, like, I'm one who, like, I don't like to just look at a video and, like, a couple things are fishy and they line up. So it's like, that's obviously true. And you just start, like, subscribing to that mentality. But it's worth conversation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I followed up with that. It's like the day that X passed, I had just got to New York. Like, I just moved to New York the day that I got there.
Damn.
And I woke up, and I had taken that, me and VI. Like, VI had never been to New York. So we went, hit the strip. Where were we? I think we were in Queens at the time. And we were ripping and running. We went to Harlem, got a chopped cheese, went back to the Airbnb, and then I took a nap. And when I woke up, VI was like, they killed X, bro. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, bro, they shot X. And I jumped on my phone, and it was like everywhere. And you gotta understand, like, we're coming up as XNVIX. We didn't even know about XXXTentacion when we came up with this. And he is, 2 hours away from us while we out here cranking. And we had some friends that had direct connects to some shows that we were supposed to do with them, and all that shit fucking happened, and it just like sucked, you know, because it was a real hit to Florida artists. Like, bro, y'all could just fucking kill us for no fucking reason out here. You know, X wasn't just a mumble rapper. You hear them albums, that boy was making some music.
Yeah.
You know, those acoustic tracks, you know, really like, exposed his soul on that shit. And it's just beautiful music that a lot of us can relate to. And they just fucking took him out. And it just sucks to realize how fragile life is, you know. And that's why, you know, I always pay homage to any artist that, you know, leaves us too early. And anytime I get on stage, if I'm representing Florida, I'm also representing Triple X Tentacion, because he can't just be forgotten. Look at the wave that he really started for Rolling Loud, you know, for Southwest Florida.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's real.
Hell yeah, man.
Got it tatted on my head. Sorry, mama.
All right. On the note of like all like conspiracy theory shit and whatever, like I told you, we usually end the episode with like ghost story type things.
Word.
And it doesn't have to be a ghost story or like paranormal, alien, like what any like unexplainable stories you want to tell. Do you have any?
And I've been thinking about this shit like all day, and the only one that I can come up with, and it just like, it always comes back to me, like when I was a kid, when I first moved to Lehigh, in fact. Me and my mom lived in this duplex. We lived in this duplex. Excuse me. And Lehigh was extremely quiet for my taste. Like, I've never been in a place so quiet. I'm used to Miami, New York, and New York does not sleep. Excuse me. So when I went to sleep one night, it was pitch black that night. The moon was covered by clouds, and it was just like extra fucking dark. And usually I would like keep my window open because the moon would like let light in, and I would like read my comics and shit. Bro, it was so fucking dark, but I could have sworn when I woke up to go use the bathroom, I was like stuck in my bed, and there was this black figure in the corner, and it was darker than everything in my room, so it stood out. And I've never seen anything so black in my life. And then its eyes opened, and like I was just frozen, and I was just like telling myself, like, you're not real, this is a dream, you can't even touch me. And then it like laughed, this sinister laugh, and it like crawled from the corner of my room under like the door, not like under the door, but like under the top base of the door outside. And then I ran out to use the bathroom, and it was in the corner of the fucking hallway. And then I went, yeah, and it said I felt like it was talking to me, but it was like in my head, and it was like, I may not be able to touch you, but I know that you can see me. And I ran back to my room, and I like went like under the covers, and I went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning. I told my mom about it, and she told me, Kiki, that just may have been a dream. But till this day, bro, I don't know whether that was a dream or not.
Dude, when you first started telling that, I thought, have you heard of sleep paralysis?
Yeah, paralysis. Yeah, I am. It's all good. Sleep paralysis. Yeah,
because that's what I thought. But when you said, I don't know if people say that they're demons that usually move. I thought they're usually stationary. But then when you're able to move, like if you wake up out of it, you're awake now. But if you got up, then you still saw it.
But here's the thing. So I was in AP psychology in high school, like my senior year, and I learned about sleep paralysis. And there was a picture of a girl sleeping, and like a fucking demon bitch on top of her, like screaming at her. And it reminded me of that situation. I was like, the only reason I could move was because it left my room. Because when I ran in the hallway, I was also like frozen.
What?
Yeah. And it took everything in me to move myself back to my room. And it, like, yes, it felt like a dream, but I'm telling you, it felt so real. And yeah, when you guys asked me, do you have any paranormal stories? I was like, that fucking demon bitch in the corner.
Dude, that's sketchy.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the scariest shit that has ever happened to me. Other than that, I don't really have any spiritual stories. I do not fuck with the spirits. You know what I'm saying? You just leave them alone, they will leave you
Facts.
alone.
For sure. Do you have any other questions or topics you want to get into before we like wrap it up and talk about future shows and the new album and stuff like that?
No, yeah.
So you said Couch is the project you got coming up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Couch from XNVIX
And you can
coming
look at this camera if
soon.
you want to.
Couch from XNVIX coming soon. Be on the lookout, all platforms. Side A and side B. To give you guys a little background about Couch. So, me and Strat came up with the idea for Couch, I want to say like 3 years ago. We first wanted it to just be like a chill album, something that you could smoke to, something that you could skate to, clean the house to. Nothing too crazy and like too like active, you know, because we do a lot of turn up music, but we wanted to show that we could hold our own on some jazz instrumentals, some lo-fi instrumentals. As the years evolved, we started making that music already, and we're like, all right, so Couch needs to be something else. It can still be a chill vibe, but it still needs to have some kind of like tell the story of our evolution. So then Toke came up with the idea of having like a side A and a side B, and everyone in gang was like, hey bro, that's kind of like what Drake did. And I was telling other people, they're like, doesn't that kind of sound like Scorpion? And I was like, no bro, this is completely different, because side A would have a bunch of chill vibes, and side B is going to have the turn up, the trap, the old school hardcore hip hop, you know. And what we did was basically spread out features all throughout the album. So side A, you'll have a song from me and VI, you'll have a song from Toke and VI, you'll have a song from Toke and Strack, maybe me and Rip and VI, things of that nature. And side A and side B is like that. So yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
2 different vibes, but there's a bunch of vibes within the 2 different vibes.
Is it fully XMVIX, or do you have any features outside?
Fully XNVIX. We were gonna put some artists on it, but we ultimately decided that we're gonna do that with scrolls and future projects.
Nice. Is there a date or like rough time estimate, or is it still up in the air?
I don't know when this episode is dropping, but as of right now, there is no date. We're in the mixing and mastering process.
Tight. Okay, sweet. And then is your next big show, you're performing at the Casey Parks' release?
Yeah, Till It Breaks release party.
Yee.
It's gonna be lit. Hey man, I don't know when.
We're gonna be there.
Yeah, this shit is probably gonna drop after that, but it's gonna be lit. It was probably super lit. You know what I'm saying?
December 6th, Millennial Brewing Company,
Hey.
7 p.m.
I can probably make sure it drops beforehand.
Word.
So
Hey man, I'm not tripping. Yeah man, it's gonna be a dope ass show on the lineup. We got Last Minute. We got Tyler Morrison. You got Wonder Why. You've got Backhouse, Sino, Ike, and Slight. You got XNVIX. Whole gang gonna be out there. You got Sling, and Casey's gonna be doing that shit. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I got this song with Casey. I don't care, I'm snitching. That's how we ending the show. It's gonna be fucking crazy.
that was some of my best memories of Kava, is the two of
man.
you just like performing at the end after.
Yeah, people would be like, what the fuck? They did a song together. And people don't know, like, me and Casey, I've known Casey longer than I've known a lot of people out here in Florida. I was his first friend when he moved down here from Kansas City.
No way.
Yeah, I went over there to Edison. He went to Edison too, FSW now, whatever the fuck. We linked up. Where the fuck did we link up? I want to say in the lunchroom, and then, oh no, we had a cinema class. Me and Brett were like real big ass movie buffs, so I took a cinema class in college, along with my friend Tommy and shit. And yeah, he was like, yeah man, I make hip hop. And I was like, no way, bro, I make hip hop. What kind of you make? He's like, man, I make like boom bap, Mac Miller type shit. I was like, bro, I love that. And he's like, spit some bars. And we walked all the way to the lunchroom, like just rapping to each other. And from there, like, me and Casey Parks have been best friends.
Yeah, that's so tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super tight. We have a couple songs coming out next year too. So be on the lookout for Till It Breaks, that feature on the album when he drops that shit. And yeah.
Hell yeah. Is there any other things you want to shout out? Any like merch or things on your website?
Yeah, website actually dropping soon. I was working on it today, so you'll be able to find out anything you want about XNVIX, from everybody's name and their background, where their singles have dropped and where their singles are coming, and then we're gonna have a link to all of our merchandise and a link to all the performances that we've done. So if you wanna, check out that little history, we're gonna have all the pictures and the names of the place. It's gonna be dope.
Tight. Dope. And are the webisodes gonna be up there? Our YouTube channel?
Yeah, definitely. The webisodes are coming next year. Wherever Life will be shooting all of those, and we're gonna be picking up where we left off. This will be episode 3 of XNTV. You guys reach out to us on the gram. Let us know like what you want to see and what you want to hear. We got you.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, thanks for coming out, dude.
Yeah,
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you. This was awesome. You guys rock. Please keep this up. What you're doing is so important to our community, for our community. And man, I really just am excited to see like where it goes and who else you have on here, because there's a lot of talent out here.
For sure.
You guys
100%.
yeah, man. Shout out to all the artists out here.
Yep.
Really grinding, doing their thing, representing the 239 appropriately. Like, you are our champions, guys.
Fuck
You
yeah.
are our champions.
And we're here for you. And you'll be seeing Yano back here, I guarantee it. We're gonna be
Yeah,
having
man.
him
I'm gonna be back here with whole gang.
Yee.
Honestly, we should do this shit tomorrow.
Dude, I can't wait. We'll link up for sure. We'll link up. All right, thank you all for watching. This has been episode 39. Hit him with that outro.
Gang, gang, hey, hey.